join me in taking a deep breath. And let it go. Thank you. Welcome back. We're back.
Yay. Welcome back, everybody, to Medicine from Our Hands with your host, Dr. Charlie. I'm a acupuncturist, sound bath, and, all kinds of other modalities. I kind of forgot at the moment. But I'm an elemental healer trying to bring ancient medicines back into a modern age. And our co-host.
I am Blossom. I am a full spectrum doula, herbalist, chef, lover of this life. I started my healing journey a few years ago. It's brought me here to this exact moment to have an amazing co-host, and we explore all things health, wellness, in our great city of Houston.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining our podcast. We're so happy you're here, tuned in, and listening.
Yes, and so we're always developing this show to be a little bit more helpful for everybody in our community, and we're really trying to build this out to be more like a news anchor, a weekly news for our community, to know all the going-ons that we're having in our community. Because this is the new age. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. Welcome to the new age of Aries, Neptune, Saturn in Aries. You guys all feel it. Things are changing quite a bit.
Come on.
And so we are really in this new world and new earth. We're all developing new skill sets to replace the old. And I think we all agree that mainstream media is a lie. They've been telling us fakeness for quite a while now, at least since the Obama age.
Yikes.
And with YouTube and these online communities, like, how do you know what is valid and what is still good information? A lot of these people are getting paid to tell you lies, right? So how do you tell lies from, or fiction from fact? And so we're here to represent, you're going to meet us in real. We're not AI. We mess up just like every human here. So we're not perfect like AI.
We're human?
Yeah, we are. I think so. I didn't really
hope so.
check.
I know.
I've done human checks on you, so I think you're all right. And
praise God.
And the goal is to help you all find healings in the community, people that you can connect with. And hopefully you guys can check out any of our future events that are coming up. And so we will start the show with listing our announcements and events so that you can join us in person to meet us and to see that we are real people having real lives. And you guys can also share your anecdotes and your stories of what it is that you are doing to provide medicine from your hands.
Amazing. Shall we transition to a dance break and then announcements?
Let's do it.
Faster than your bullet. Okay.
Okay. And our first announcement and event is going on this weekend at Old Town Spring.
Yes.
We got a drum circle from our brother Mish, who was here on our show a couple of episodes ago. And that's happening on March 1st at noon. So please join us. And that's going to be a monthly.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's monthly every first Sunday.
Yes. So every first Sunday, y'all, join us for a drum circle, meet with awesome people. These drum circles, y'all, it's very powerful because the healing is done nonverbal. It is a lot of us haven't really played with drums and instruments in a playful healing space. And I think we constantly think, oh, we're playing music and we're going to do a show or we're going to play music for music's sake.
Right.
No, drum circles are for your sake, for you to hit drums. And that's a good start because a lot of times you might be releasing a lot of anxiety or
Right.
things that need to come out.
Pent up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But really, it's because you're listening in community and you're listening to the
Mm.
beats and you're watching everybody just hit those drums like they really mean it. And you feel
Yeah.
very connected to that. So I would
Yes.
really say, if you have a hard time with anxiety, stress, you feel alone, come to our drum circle.
Yes. And I just want to add, just because the people that are holding this space are so amazing. Shout out to Shane and Verna. They own Pillars of Light shop in Old Town Spring, metaphysical shop. They sell everything from crystals, rapé, herbs. I mean, if you need it, they have it. And it's a drum circle and actually rapé circle. So if you're open to receiving the healing of ancient medicine, tribal healing, that's also an amazing integrative experience post drum circle. So please check them out for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And then our second event that we got going on is a sound bath. Yeah.
Bong. Let's get a sound effect for that. Oh.
Still learning our sound effects here in our studio. And the sound bath is happening on March 7th, and it's happening every other week. So every 2 weeks, so twice a month, we have this sound bath, and it's happening the American College of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. It is my alma mater. This is where I got my degree in acupuncture and herbal medicine. And I just felt like they were just missing a community. They had so many people coming in to their patient room. They have so many. We've been in business for almost 20 years now.
Wow.
And so the school's been around for a while. The clinic has been around for a while. But like a lot of patients, I used to get patients who had stress and anxiety. And besides the acupuncture, I would tell them, oh, you should go find a Tai Chi Qigong practice or a sound bath or something to help you calm down. And they constantly would ask me, do you know any? And that was to me such an opportunity to, to keep in business, we say, you keep the people coming back for your services. And so if you they leave and they want more of your services, you don't offer it. It's like saying you're leaving money on the table. Right. And so I spoke to the school and say, hey, why don't you guys offer actual medical or modalities of healing that are constructive to your lifestyles rather than, a lot of times too often we tell people in our clinics that like, your problem is lifestyle. You need to have better habits in lifestyle. You need to have better anxiety, stress regulating things to do.
Practices.
But, because our clinic should not be like, you should never think of your doctor's office as where you should be going to get all of your healing. That makes no sense. Like your healing should be in all the different places that you are connected to, right? Like no one wants to say medicine is only in the doctor's office. And this is why we do our show, because I believe that walking in nature is medicine.
Right.
But no one prescribes that, right? So the more we can talk about how medicine is in everyday life, we're able to then heal ourselves outside of the doctor's office and in our natural environment. So this sound bath is really good to come to get acupuncture, but also come get a sound bath. We're going to introduce Tai Chi Qigong Meridian Movement by me, and to really show that there's actually healing in the movements that you do. And we're not here to also do movements so you start sweating. That's a very Western concept of like, if you do exercise you must sweat.
Wow.
That's a
It's
very
not
yoga
necessary?
thing too. Like we see this in yoga. People go yoga, oh, I didn't sweat, that's not a workout. I'm like, what? Stretching is an exercise. You don't need to sweat for that. Yet
Teach us.
unfortunately people keep thinking, oh, if I didn't sweat I didn't get a workout. And
it's a myth. I didn't realize.
yeah,
We should
there's
also
a
go through
place
myths
for that. Yeah.
and truths.
We should definitely do some
Yeah.
myth debunking in the
Because,
medicine
man,
space.
yeah.
But this is a sound bath that you guys, it's only $20, y'all. So check it out. We have here Blossom and Mish, and the three of us are basically holding space for everybody. And we're going to develop that space. It's kind of like a weekend wellness
Yeah.
in this school. And we're eventually going to bring in teas, we're going to bring nutrition.
Yeah.
So please come and check that out. It's your local, it's in the Southwest area. So come check it out. Right now, a lot of our events is in the North and Southwest of Houston. Come fall, we're actually just been asked to hold a festival,
Yeah.
a little festival out in the East End to open up and activate the East End. So, stay with us as we start to find more events that you guys can find healing at. We're going to be advertising and posting these up. And if you guys have events as well, please let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know if you have amazing events. We want to advertise it because we want our community to come to all these different events, meet each other, and really have these healing experiences so that we could have a healed community.
Right. And then a healed world. That's the
Yes.
cascading.
That's
ripple
how we
effect.
change the world.
Bong,
One
biggity
person at a
bounce.
time with the people you meet and the people that you talk to, right? We're not here to tell you to go across the world to go help people. You can help people today across the street in Houston, okay?
For sure.
And then our next event, we're really excited. We've been developing this event for quite a while now. Sacred Bites. You guys probably heard us talk a lot about it a few times, but we're here to really invite you all to join us. Whoever is interested to have a home cooked meal and then be able to be in community and end with a sound bath / drum circle. We're really trying to bring the home cooked meal experience back into people's lives. I think what we found in the last couple of weeks is that I know people who don't have a home cooked meal. They only buy food in the grocery store, food at a restaurant. And they keep asking me, Charlie, like, how can you live in this inflation? Like, I spend all my money on food. And I tell people, you should learn to cook. Like, you should learn to really cook food. It's so important to be able to cook such simple meals that are devoid of all the chemicals that you're getting in today's food, restaurant food, fast food, right?
And the unfortunate thing is we're not taught from a young age or an old age, unless you have a superstar grandma or grandpa or mother or father. Culinary arts, cooking for yourself, is a lost art. And one of my journeys in this life will be to, as a chef, integrate co-ed home ec classes in middle school and high schools, because that's when I needed it, and it would even be a better, more rounded, holistic chef if I started earlier. Thank God I started when I started, but that's why my heart is so after Sacred Bites and making it a wonderful, organic, healing experience, because parents don't really know how to cook, those children don't know how to cook, and then what happens? Obesity, bulimia, all of the food diseases and body dysmorphia diseases, and it starts with the home. It's like parents are like, okay, breast milk, and then we have Gerber, baby food, and then it's kind of like McDonald's. I don't like that. Like, it should be cage-free eggs, maybe vegan, organic, kombucha. Like, start kids early. So it starts in the school, and because food has been taken out, we need to go back there.
Moving closer.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so I want to share an anecdote from my dad and my grandma, because this is often what I talk a lot about, is that the home space has to become sacred again to bring real parents back into the home space. And so, it's funny. My dad was a cook. He was a chef for many. I'd say a cook, not a chef, right? Like, he didn't learn technical skills to be a chef, but he was a good cook. And that's because at 10 years old, 10 years old, my grandma got him an apartment in Vietnam, North Vietnam. We were living in the village. Like, my dad's side is from the village, well-off village. But he told my dad, my grandma told my dad, hey, you're going to move in on your own in downtown Vietnam. I'm going to get you an apartment at 10 years old, and you're going to learn to cook for yourself and live in Vietnam by yourself and go to the market by yourself. because you're a 10-year-old boy. It's time for you to learn how to do things on your own.
Wow.
That is where my dad learned the skills, the necessary skills to provide for his family by cooking all his life. When we had a hotel restaurant, he was a cook. And then after he came to America, he just worked in delis all his life, right? So he's always cooked.
Wow.
And that came from 10 years old. My grandma forced him. It wasn't my dad wanted to go leave outside the village in like, you know, and all the animals and rice paddies. It's like
Wow.
going to the farm, going to the city, live on your own at 10 years old and go cook for yourself. I think he only did that for like a year or two, and then he moved back in and like started to cook at home. But you know, that's so funny that in today's America, like we get so we coddle our kids so much. But like 18 years old, that's when he's an adult. My grandma took my dad. Now she didn't leave him there and say good luck. She actually then went to the market, talked to the people at the market, and said, "This is my son. He's gonna come and buy food from you at this market. Pay, sell him the food at the prices you sell me, or I'm gonna hear from him, and I come in, I'm going to yell at you." And it's funny because we say yell, and that's like, that's not so tough. But like in Vietnamese word, there's certain word that's saying you're not yelling, you're like dissing them, not dissing them. You're like angrily mad at them, and right, there's a word for that. And so that's enough to like scare the market people. And actually what happened is my dad got hoodwinked into this other, like someone tried to like sell him something for expensive, and so he told my mom, my grandma, and my grandma came and like basically yelled at the man. And like that guy never sold to my dad, like, you know, anything bad, you know,
again.
unsanitary. I mean, it's so easy to rip off a 10-year-old kid, right?
Naturally.
Yeah.
But she knew that. But she's like, this is your
Yes,
test. But this is
exactly.
Charlie, Dr. Charlie Trin.
Right.
Talk about the roots.
And so a lot of
Martinique.
times, like, yeah, my father was a military man, and so he didn't show emotions, but what he did show to me was that, like, be self-sufficient, be a man, do the things that you need to do, learn what you need to do. The rest, that's up to you. You know, like he didn't give me such deep wisdom. He just told me what I needed to do just so I could live by myself.
What you needed to know.
Yeah, and I did move out at 18. I had moved out to USC in LA, and that's when I left home, and I was out there for 20 years. And so that was like my journey of leaving home, where my dad's journey was at 10 years old.
Wow.
Because of food, right? And so Sacred Bites is to get us to remember that home cooked meal is sacred because that is technology cultivated by our ancestors for millennia for us to be alive today.
Right.
And so when my grandma made sure that it was passed on to her son, and my dad didn't really teach me a lot of food until I came back home in Houston. And then we sat down and we made food together. And I was like, oh, Dad, I never knew how to do this. I can get this on YouTube. But the fact that he was telling me rather than me hearing it from another random stranger online was way more
impactful. Because it's blood to blood teaching.
Exactly.
That's why it's been so attacked and demoralized.
Exactly.
And because blood to blood teaching, there's nothing like it. I also want to add with Sacred Bites, the reason why it's so delicious and important, although we cook many different genres of food and from different cultures, so far we've done Caribbean, we've done Mexican, we've done Asian, I don't know. Like
Asian, yeah.
Vietnamese or Chinese?
Vietnamese. Mostly, yeah.
And then like American. And I say this to say, simply put, all of Sacred Bites, the genre of food is soul food. Why? We sing, dance, pray, give thanks to the food, and it changes it. It literally feels lighter, it tastes better, and you're fuller longer. And I say this to say, like, soul food, although we think of collard greens and mac and cheese and fried chicken and biscuits, and that's delicious, but our ancestors it was celebration. It wasn't just Popeye's Two-Piece Tuesday, you know? It danced. So our food dances at Sacred Bites, so I'm so enthusiastic to share it and like make it shake, because eating live food in the body, there's nothing like it. Your literal nervous system saying, I can live and survive another day. I'm safe, I'm healed, I'm protected. I can have better sleep, make better decisions, and be an upstanding, upright individual. Food, healing, medicine, sacred bites.
Yeah. So that's amazing soul food that you can have here at Sacred Bites. That's happening on March 15th from 4 to 7 p.m.
Bing bong.
So join us for that as well. And we're doing that about every other month. We're trying to find our cadence to develop these a little bit more, just because right now we tested it out for a few times and there's some hiccups that we've had to learn. But now I think we're at a stride where we can continue developing this experience. So that happens in March 15th. And then we have a very exciting festival. Finally, our festival season is starting, right?
What is it?
And our first one is going to be Medicine for the People.
Bong, biggity bong.
Right? It matches our name. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And we went there last year during the fall, where we were two groups. We were one group where we were vendoring. And so I was actually selling my sugarcane juice at the time.
Yeah.
I was there with Ray. She was selling her amazing chakra lemonade, y'all.
Amazing.
Ray has this amazing. So she basically just had the basic lemonade. And then she had 7 syrups that you can choose. And she would do a chakra reading on you. And whatever chakra you were looking for or to activate, she would basically put the syrup in the lemonade and turn that lemonade into
lime
a
and the coconut.
chakra-infused lemonade.
It was
amazing.
So like for the root, she did like strawberry and rhubarb like syrup, right? And then
she made her own syrup from fresh fruits. Like she did not like buy like
kiwi
that.
Kiwi was the green. Yeah. Check her out.
Yeah. So she and so the two of us, there was about 3 of us in the vending booth. And so we had one group that were doing vending the whole weekend. And then you guys were doing.
Yeah. Well, we performed and we were selling sea moss popsicles. Those were amazing. We did wild blueberry and ginger. We did a peach mango. Yeah. And so what else? We performed. We got on stage and we did our rendition at the time. It was called Rhythm of Remembrance. And me and 3 other amazing facilitators, we made love in ceremony with medicine and medicine from our hearts. So there was sound bath.
And the metaphor she meant is she's giving musical medicine to everybody. We're not sitting there doing anything kind of psychedelics.
Right.
Because in some of these conferences, we may have to, it's a few times people ask me, is there any psychedelics in your sugarcane juice? No, it's just plain sugarcane juice. Because it's a very common question we get in these festivals.
Clarify,
but I just wanted
identify,
to clarify that, because it was just pure musical healing.
Yes. It was that. There was prayer. We did sound bath. It was a live band, bass, guitar, drums, breath work. It was divine.
And you guys allow people to play with the music. So what's really beautiful is they really allow everybody to join the drum circle as they're playing music. But it is still you still have a group of musicians who are leading the music, but you're able to be part of that group because we're playing drums together.
So a static dance, people took their shakers, drums, and we really want that. We want to break the fourth wall of as far as musicians, concert, stage, and bring the stage to the people where we can interact with one another.
People are part of the musical experience and not just being a passive participant.
Exactly. Circles taught me that. Everyone has a time to speak. Everyone is listening when that person is speaking, and the participation is totally different from teacher to pupil to musician you pay oodles of dollars for to then just like maybe your one-on-one concert where we're all in it. So medicine for the people,
and
we got to showcase this.
Give us the date here.
Yes, March 19th through the 22nd. It's going to be in the middle of the month of March, and this is the springtime medicine for the people. There's an autumn medicine for the people as well. And so if you'd like to be there, links will be in our bio caption.
Yes, a description. Yes.
Our description, and we'd love to see you. We've met amazing community there, drum circles, the food. It's just such a grounding, collective, beautiful experience that
Yeah.
everyone should experience at least once in their
Yes.
life. Yeah.
And it's camping, y'all.
We camping?
We're camping.
I
So
hope you
if you
like.
guys are part of our
I know
camping
you
group,
like.
I know all of you guys, some of you guys have joined us, but camping is really
too.
our, you know, sometimes we say it's a retreat, but it is beyond a retreat. It is kind of like our way to reconnect to ourselves, to
Yes.
nature, to each other, and because there's no distractions out in nature. So medicine for the people is our camping experience until we get our major camping experience, which will be in Memorial Day in Dallas. So that's coming soon, and we'll let you guys know when we're ready to advertise that one.
Yeah, and we have some other things in Livingston.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Porter.
We
We're
got a
gonna be
lot.
all over Texas.
We got a lot going on this season, but we're
Yeah.
trying to be more grounded so that we can advertise a lot of these to people. Just because we're doing so many things now, and so we want to have a different way to let people know what we're doing, but also like talk about some of these events that we're doing. Right? It's not just
Yeah.
like here you go have fun. Like no, like we're explaining why we do it. Why you should come to experience it. We are looking for people who are ready to be conscious in community. Okay,
Right.
If you're still eating terrible food and you don't understand why that's happening to you, and you're constantly doing unconscious habits, like this is not for you. It's gonna be very uncomfortable for you because when you become conscious, everything's your fault, but everything is your responsibility and everything's your gift. And it's not very easy for people who are unconscious who constantly blame other people. Oh, I can't do this because of that, or these people do this and I can't do that, or
Right.
this is not my fault because of this. We don't want that. You know, like medicine from our hands means that you are choosing conscious thought of healing yourself and consciously always letting your hands be your medicine. You're not here to work for somebody with these hands. These hands are yours to be working, come and do things from. And that's why we talk about how medicine comes from our hands, our throat, our bodies, our whole experience. And so it's so important that we are cultivating a community of conscious people who recognize the input, what they're bringing into their body, what they're processing, integrating, and then what they're putting out into the world. Because we are here in the new world. We are in the new earth. We're building the new earth based on all the things we're doing. So if you love the old earth, you love your sports, you love your medicine and your prescriptions and your fast food, please stay in that world. But if you're
Wow.
ready to really go into a world where it's all you're doing and you
And
are the
making.
divine.
It's your doing and your making.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And having other people who are doing to and looking to collaborate with each other in authentic space, then we are the community for you. Okay.
Yeah. And
But it requires you have to do your own personal work.
period. We one thing about cultivating community is the boundary line is if you're going to be a part of any community, any tribe, any village, you have the responsibility to handle your own illnesses, sicknesses, and weaknesses, addictions, etc. When you can come to a place of understanding with that and you're working towards a better day, maybe it's your day 507 of being sober, whatever it is, bring that for sure. But the responsibility is we are taking care of ourselves. So when we come together, there's no tension, friction, discord, misunderstandings. We're all coming from a place of homeostasis and peace. So that's really when any magic can happen. How babies are born, how nebulas are formed, it comes from peace. So our only boundary, and well, we have more and community guidelines, but the main one is that you take care of yourself so you can be healthy in community, so you can build healthy community, period.
And we're not saying that you can't get healing from each other.
Oh,
I think,
no.
You're right. The goal is to find other amazing people who are modeling what it looks to be healed.
Yeah.
And if you have questions on how to heal yourself, there are other people who are willing to share that with you.
Sure.
But you're not there to look for people to heal you.
Of course.
And
The weight of, we all have had friends that just dump on you and dump and dump. And I love you all.
I may have been one of them. I'm sorry.
Yo, me, myself. Hello, Blossom. But,
And that's why we're doing this show
and
now.
that's why
so
we
that
have the show.
we can do it
reel it
online
in.
and you can choose to
Own
listen
it
to us
in.
or not. But we're going to be coming hard.
Period.
Yeah.
That's what he said, and that's what she said as well. We're going for the jugular. So, yeah, I just wanted to preface that because the community itself, as soon as you step in, it's a vortex of healing. We all are in our love, in our magic, in our purpose, in our healing. We all step into our medicine. It's amazing. But the requirement is, instead of just saying, it's for me, I receivers, you have to do a certain level of work. So our medicines don't hurt you, burn you out, take you for surprise. Because if anyone's truly been healing, it's a day-to-day journey.
Yeah.
It's not you arrive and
Yeah.
take
Ta-da.
your time. Yeah.
You
Oh,
get
yeah.
a little
It's
medal and it's over and happily ever after.
I wish. It's not that. So we take it day by day.
Yeah.
But
I like to kind of use the metaphor of sober living. Like oftentimes people use sober living for really bad drug addiction or alcohol addiction.
wow.
And I go beyond that and say, no, it's unconscious addictions. Unconscious behaviors is the soberness you're coming from, right?
Right.
So, yeah, alcohol tends to have created hazy moments in your life where you chose to do things you didn't mean to, or things blew up because you were holding things in and suppressing. And that's because you weren't living an authentic life. And so sober living means you have to be dead present with the pain and suffering and the happiness and joy that you provide and create for yourself and for others. And so often we see people not being present with what's happening to them.
Right.
And that's why they constantly get tricked into some kind of crazy pyramid scheme or some crazy cult, sex cult, or some
Damn.
trafficking with some stupid people. That's because you're being unconscious of the things that work and doesn't work for you.
Input, output.
Exactly. I was saying input and output. So alcohol, but it's not just alcohol. Stockholm syndrome is a common disease I tell people in America. We have been brutalized, taking everything from us, our culture, who we are, identity, and then we're being told, oh, with this much money, you can now live the most comfortable life in a picket white fence, living the American dream. And that's not real, y'all. Like, you know, too many of us have been chasing this lie. And so I think now we're like, no, actually, I was the most comfortable when I was living my authentic self because my ancestors cultivated this authenticity in me. And so too often we might get locked into thinking, oh, my culture sucks, the American culture is better, let's go follow all that. And then we get into all the typical traps of going into anything with no history, right? No lessons. And so that's kind of what we're trying to say is, in coming into our community, you're becoming sober because you're realizing you have to be conscious of everything you do. Every input, food, everything you watch on TV, everything you let people tell you, right? So even if people tell you things and you don't listen to them, you still heard it. That's still input that's happening in you. And then that gets integrated into your soul, and now you're outputting something else, whether you are, you know, you're like making creativity, you're making jokes, you're making singing, you're dancing. Those are outputs. And so when you realize that you are the one responsible for the inputs into your life and the output into your life, you recognize that you are living a sober life. You're being a very conscious life. And that may not be very easy for people.
Right. Because there's just a golden ticket to escapism in this here America.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
Get me in and out of here.
And the most recent of these circles were the spiritual circle. And so with
and it's just
Pisces
like,
and
come
Saturn
on,
leaving
man.
Pisces, stop with the spiritual groups, y'all. If anything, spiritual groups are dead and spirituality is now everywhere. So with Saturn, Neptune moving into Aries, this is a huge time for us to recognize that like spirituality is you yourself. And if you tune into that spirituality of self, you really tune in to what is it that is good for you, right? And too often we get lost in other people's kind of traps. And so that's kind of the idea behind a lot of our community and why we go to the different events and festivals, because everyone is coming to a community and we're being very conscious of what is affecting us. And so we're constantly connecting with others who are helping us heal the things that we didn't realize we were still in bad habits of, right? Because then some of us can say, hey, why are you still watching sports? Can we talk to you about sports? Yeah, I love sports. And then that deeper conversation can go, oh my God, I didn't realize sports is scripted. So when you get mad that the sport, they did something stupid and now your team lost, guess what? It was all made up anger, because at the end of the year and the season, yes, some of you guys may remember numbers for who won what in which season, and this year your team won and you're excited and now you have purpose in life because your team won. But when your team loses, you just aren't happy. Like, do you guys realize how influential these sports are making your emotions, right? And emotion is how we control people. And so we'll go deeper into these topics, but I want this is our first time giving announcements, and our announcement may have taken a bit longer than we expected.
No,
but
it's
really,
fair.
the topic of conversation for today's episode is actually started right outside our podcast studio.
Yeah, that
I
was
walked
wild.
into to the library today in our Tech Link space and getting ready for our podcast. And we've been hanging out with our friends here in the studio, and they've been sharing with us stuff because we talk about all of the topics in our show. And the guy says, "There's the man I'm looking for, Charlie.
Wow, cool.
Please tell this man," because he asked a question, and we were just not debating, we're having very deep philosophical conversation about. The man asked these people, are there any new diseases? That was just the question that started like
a whole
whole
Pandora's box.
that just opened
can of
up
worms.
the veil to
Dang.
the word disease, to the word health, to the word medicine, to the word food. I mean, I felt bad. I mean, he was definitely asking for a grounded, like, what do I do next? And none of us had here's the answer, ABC.
Yeah.
We were constantly bombarding him with like, well,
It's like this. And have you thought about it like this? And for the children's sake, and it's been a lie. He was just like, what?
yes.
And then that's where I walked in.
But he kept trying to say like, so what's the answer?
Yeah.
And I was trying to tell him like, the answer is not easy because, so just like when we were talking about sacred bites and food, do you know how easy, like we went from a culture where everybody was growing food and cooking their meals at home to today, I don't know the numbers, but we're constantly probably at like, I think it's like really high, 50 to 60% are buying food and not making food at home. And I think it's much higher. I just don't know the numbers, so I'm not going to throw it out there.
Right.
But even at 50% of our population buying food and not eating food, we don't even get into the deeper conversation. What's in our
buying food and not growing food.
buying
Yeah,
food,
and
not cooking
growing-
food, and
yeah,
not growing food. Yes, yes.
But
Multiple
it's three different
layers to that.
things because
Yeah.
it's like it's taking your natural ability to connect with the earth, farming. It's taking away your natural ability to heal yourself, making teas, ginger, etc. And then also, I don't know if it's conservation, but the reason why we have so much like pollution and hurt on Mother Earth, we don't really know the give and take of the soilness. The regeneration is lost.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it is three different things, and that's why it's such a big thing. And we couldn't just give him an answer because once we solve the microplastics, then it's the food chain. Then after it's the food chain, we were at that sustainability dinner the other night, and environmental scientist was saying the fish are confused. They don't, per their hormones being recirculated.
We have been dumping our prescription chemicals and our hormone altering disease. I mean, prescriptions down the drain. Apparently, down the toilet. Y'all stop dumping shit in the toilet, y'all. Stop it. You should not be doing that. That water goes into the ocean and goes
Come
into the
on.
lakes. You guys should not be dumping anything toxic in the toilet. I mean, seriously, y'all. Like, we are single-handedly destroying our earth, our planet. Bringing us food, y'all.
Yeah.
And so this deeper conversation, has so many layers. And I listened to all of them talking, and I was like, where do I address this? But we want to at least throw this question out to y'all about whether or not are there any new diseases in today's modern world. Because we all experienced COVID-19 about a couple of years ago. I think this year they tried to start new diseases for us so that we can get locked down again. Yeah, they tried to, but we just shut that down. Yeah, they just didn't have enough funding to do the propaganda this time.
Oh my God.
If they had enough money to do the propaganda, we'd be locked down for the new flu variant of the year, right?
Wow.
I mean, if we were to talk about are there any new diseases, COVID was not new, y'all. It was called COVID-19 because guess what? It was the 19th iteration of the COVID problem, y'all. That means that they had already created COVID. And COVID-19 was the 19th iteration of this disease. Guess what? They apparently had money. Our tax dollars went into funding, what is it called? Where, I forget, it's gain of function research to make COVID and flu more killing, more, what is that called? More
Destructive?
more destructive. And guess what? Where did it study and make the research on this? In Wuhan. China, y'all. So, as much as you guys love to say you guys want to be communist, Wuhan, China, let shit like this happen, y'all. So, you guys, I'm from Asian countries. We left communism when it was at our doorstep because we knew that we had censorship in our face. We had governments controlling what we could do. I mean, I don't want to start the conversation of going back to when I went back to Vietnam and what I experienced, but communism is not what you think it is. And so today, when we have people pushing for communism, saying that America is broken, I'm like, sure, America is broken. But guess what? It's broken because you're not stepping up. None of us are. We keep thinking the government's going to fix you. And every 4 years, it's like gambling, technically, y'all. When you guys vote, you guys are gambling and you guys are doing the scratch. Every 4 years, you're doing a scratch off, hoping, am I going to get the best mix of politicians that are going to fix my problem? And you scratch out going, aw, better luck next 4 years.
Dang.
Right? And so when you ask again, are there any new diseases? You should ask who is in charge of your government, and you'll know whether or not you get new diseases that year. Wow. And so this goes even further because I think we've talked a little bit about big pharma, big medical, big food, big ag. We say the word big because that means that it's corporations who
we're referring to.
Who we're referring to, who are actually lobbying for all these detrimental things to the government so that the government forces us to apply these rules that were paid for by these big ag, big pharma, big medicine companies. And so when we talk about sovereignty and being conscious of your input outputs, you have to leave big pharma, big ag, and all these systems because they're the ones that are creating your unconscious habits of diseases.
Right. And like the whole thing about disease is there's no start to end, and it essentially you should see it as like a bad toothache that can further lead to further mouth decay, total decay, root canal, can take over your mouth. But like the reason why it's like a bad apple and a mix or bad energy, the reason why you have to literally put it down is because the power it can possess penetrates subtleties and nuances that inherently affect you, your projectile in life, your energetic livelihood, that you can't always prepare to put defenses up against or fight against. So the more that you have it around you, negative energy, input that is not for your best interest, the more you can be slowly taken, held underground, drowning, and you don't know where to begin. So conscious living is not an escapism. It's not an easy way, but it's the only way, and it's the right way, and it's necessary, because for a lot of our conditioning and unlearning we have to do is because we've been so brainwashed and told only one way of living is the only way you can experience this human experience, but it's just not true.
Yeah. If you guys really believe that the system was out to do good for you, why are we having the most amount of revolution around the world, around this
Period.
country? Why are we so angry as people?
War, famine, Flint, Michigan, all the movements. Thank God there's revolutionary people, but you have to look at what's going on around you.
Yeah. And speaking of revolution, y'all, you guys have to know I hate protest. I think protest is the biggest distraction, biggest what is it called? Getaway. You guys aren't actually addressing any problems. Yeah, have you guys ever if you're a spoiled child and you throw temper tantrums, yes, temper tantrums work. But in the end of the day, they are very disruptive to your sovereignty because you are constantly not taking in feedback because your temper tantrum is louder than the feedback you're supposed to be listening for. And so a lot of times when people are throwing temper tantrums and this the French Revolution, y'all, like I'm French and I recognize it and I read the stories. They overthrew their monarchy to replace it for a socialist government. And so today they're revolting against, and you're like, yo, stop revolting. Get into politics. And if you guys can't get into it, you guys call them out. And that's what's happening today. You know, a lot of you guys don't like Trump, but guess what? He's the only administration that's calling out everybody. And that's what we need, because if you guys want to get angry at anyone, be mad at yourself. Because none of you guys are getting involved. How many of you guys, raise your hand, are getting involved in politics and in civil service and public service? And if you say that we can't beat them, then you let them win.
Oh, man,
You know,
man.
sure, it was difficult a couple of years ago, but that's why, you know, the idea that Trump came in and started to push against them, because he's creating space for us to kind of show up as leaders today, right? Because a lot of times what you guys are going to find out, and we're seeing this now with the whole Epstein list, is like all these people are now, guess what? You're going to find out like 95% of the government is on the Epstein list, right? That means that how do you replace 95% of your government? You all need to step up.
You start with 100% yourself.
Exactly.
You want change, you be the change.
Exactly. And be the change in your community. It's hyper local first.
Start there. Start in your own home. Call your home a temple.
Ooh.
Temple on.
Call your home a kingdom and a queendom, yo.
Come on.
If
Where's
you
your
guys
sage, your
cannot
Palo
have
Santo?
sovereignty of your kingdom and queendom,
Where are you bringing it, and what are you bringing? This is it's what I can say. It's just what I can say. Turn your temple on. See the life and light around your entire beingness turn on. It starts at home. It starts at home. You know, when you see, I can't say bad, but children that are dysregulated, what do they say? Who taught you? Were you like, it starts at home. It starts at home. When you wake up, what are the first thoughts? Do you reach for your phone? Do you reach for sun? Do you go step on your grass, charge, breathe, meditate? It starts there. Regulate yourself. Stop jumping out of bed and getting on your phone and, running into the next thing. That's franticness. It's just going to follow you.
yes.
It's just what I can say.
Yes. So really, the deeper conversation, because I feel like, are there any new diseases? Is really a loaded question.
But can you give us a simple yes, no, or maybe, Dr. Charlie?
Truthfully, I'll say that it's not that there are new diseases. It's that we are so deficient with real life food, real life emotional connection, and with real life thought and and purpose, that you will. I heard a really good saying. If you won't s- if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for everything. And what I mean by that is, because many of us have forgotten who we are, we've been bullied into forgetting who we are, we're now falling for every trap that we call the matrix. And one day we'll break that down to explain how deep and wide this matrix is. But what we talk about is really just common programming, right? Pavlov dog, right? Classical conditioning, Pavlov's dog, is a simple concept that they trained to hear a bell and the dog would salivate because he knew dinner was coming. That simple concept, y'all, if you realize how deep and powerful that is, we're constantly being Pavlov dogged into going against ourselves, right? Because we're constantly being told, oh, every 4 years, guess what? If you vote, you're not going to solve all your problems. You got tricked by the bell of the 4-year election or 2-year election. And now guess what? You show going, oh yeah, let's go and save the world now, because I can't save the world when there's no new president, there's no new, right? And so you're constantly outsourcing your healing, with the needs that you need in your community to something else.
Yeah.
Either it's your state government. Really, it starts with your city government, then you go up to your state government, and then you go up to your federal government. That's 3 layers before you even get involved, right? And so in your local community, you guys should be involved. And if you're having a hard time getting involved, guess what? Get involved with people, because those people are going to be the ones who vote for you, right?
Yeah.
And we have stopped being connected to people. Now we use marketing to kind of tell everybody, guess what? I'm the new sheriff in town and I have this much money. So now when you vote for me, I will do these things. And then if you guys don't check what these things are, you realize that you got tricked every 4 years. Your politicians would tell you what they're going to tell you. Anybody do a grade report on the politicians every 4 years? Because if you did, you'd find out they did not complete anything they would say. So why would you keep thinking the next person who's coming is going to do it,
Right.
if they're on the same team as the last president or the last whatever politician? Some of these politicians are breeding each other, y'all, like breeding shitty politicians to keep ripping you off. So, until you guys step up and we step up in our own community, we're going to keep falling for these traps, right? And so today, when we say, like, are there new diseases? I'd say, like, the only real disease is your lack of, the only disease is really the outsourcing disease, or what I call the convenience disease. It's easier to outsource your medicine to somebody else who's got a degree. It's easier to outsource your food nutrition to a restaurant or a chef. It's easier to outsource your education to people who have degrees who can supposedly teach you what education is, right? Yet, ironically, the people who you find who are successful, those people who stop eating from the system,
Right.
people who stop listening to education, right? You guys realize that, like, some of these, like, major CEOs who own companies and invented amazing things didn't go to school. Steve Jobs dropped out.
The universe taught them.
Yeah, and I'm not even going to talk about Bill
University.
Gates, because obviously
That's where it
he's
came
he's a
from.
giant lie. I would not trust anything this man says. So even if he says he built Microsoft DOS from a garage, it's a lie. He got paid a ton of money to tell the lies, okay? And so this is the deeper conversation. If you guys keep thinking the American dream is built from these people who showed you how to get it done, it's a lie. Celebrities that tell you that you just have to work hard to do what you can, it's a lie. They followed their leaders, or you can see, like, movie stars suddenly, like, getting involved in politics. They should not. They're movie stars. They fake acting.
Right.
Why would you listen to fake people, yo? And that's
Because-
where we're lost, right? If you guys aren't listening to real doctors that you meet that are actually healing you, because if you're listening to doctors, but they're not actually healing people, why would you be listening to
Right.
them?
But we're running out of those good people and candidates to run. That's the whole thing. That's why it's the 1%, the 5%, the 80%. Like,
Well, I don't think that we ran out of people. I think we all got burnt out from getting screwed by
Well,
ourselves.
Period. But the next generation, after we saw
Yes.
that, no one just let me step up. Let me
Millennials
step
and
up.
Gen Zs will not step
Dormant.
into
They're
civil,
right.
right? Because they think the whole thing is a shit show, and why would you even walk into that
Something
space?
that's falling down.
Yeah.
However, the McDonald's will still be at the corner. Medicine, chemtrails. So we have to take action, and that's why a part of the describing our events took time, because why are we creating events? Why do we want you there? What is community? We have to tell you guys what these things are, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense. You guys just gather to have fun and party? Nah, cuz.
There are places for that, so don't come to us for that, please. We're
Bar,
asking
club,
you
dance club.
to heal yourself and to provide medicine for others, because you have medicine to share with. And if you don't realize that, please don't come here. Unless you want to realize that, then come and we'll show you.
Come if
and
you'd like.
teach
Don't
you
come if you
and
can't
guide
come.
you. But again, it's consciousness. If you're willing to do the work, come. We'll play.
We're gonna work
and
with
heal
you.
together.
We want you there.
Exactly.
The whole point is to get
if you're
everyone
here
there.
just to keep playing
Siphon
out,
energy,
to feel
energy
like
vampire, distract, harm, be weirdo. Yo, the door is there.
yeah, and a deeper thing too that I've noticed, and again, no shade on anyone, but
Shade.
and I say no shade on you because you've probably been in the shade for too long.
Oof.
But the Europeans who are here now have become American. Some of us call you guys white American. I think you're not necessarily all whites, but many European Americans lost their native indigenous cultures. So whether it was the Druids from the Celtics, whether it was the pagans from Europe, whether it was the Wiccans, not the witches, okay, different. Wiccans are different. They're basically all people, pagans. They're all ones who are connected to nature and working for nature. Witches, the dark ones, were the ones who were abusing these pagan rituals. But that culture is what's leading a lot of these groups today, whether they're conferences, festivals, in the spiritual circles. They are looking for spiritual connection. Many of us are born with spiritual connections, and we don't need to escape to spiritual groups. We live spiritually. When we're honoring ourselves and our culture and our people, we are being spiritual because the spirit of our culture is in us for us to act out. And so when you see people now today, and I'm going to call you guys out, the yoga studios who don't actually bring in any of the yogic practices, but just wanted to have a cute little booty, stop it. That you're basically appropriating spirituality because you're not bringing the conscious thought, the breath work, the connection to the body, the connection to each other.
Top five.
Right?
Top
Like
five,
literally,
top five,
yoga
top
is
five,
to
top five, top
connect.
five.
So if I've run into this many times when you have like these people who are doing amazing handstand yoga poses, and then they turn around and like yell at people, you're like,
Oh,
whoa, you're a
shoot.
shitty person. You just know how to do
Dang.
handstands.
Oh,
That's you
God.
don't know how to do yoga, right? She even told me, oh, but I reached samadhi. Great. But you're still a shitty person.
Damn.
So what does
and you
that
know what that
say
is?
about you?
Not integrating the healing and the lessons. Don't take more medicine if you haven't integrated the past lessons that they've already told you.
Yeah.
You won't grow. It's called arrested development.
Yes. And so this is kind of why we talk about culture so much, because culture is the embedded medicine that is in our lifestyle, right? And so, as we're kind of coming to the end of our show, I want you all to think about this question of, are there any new diseases? I know this will open up a lot of conversation for people, but that's where it starts.
Yeah.
Ask difficult questions that will take longer to answer, because then you realize how deep this matrix has been influencing all of us for so long. And that's why we are choosing to go back into simple things like growing food,
Right.
cooking food, and playing on drums. That stuff is all primitive, but that stuff is cultivated medicine turn to culture. So when you have no culture, you just don't have integrated medicine in your lifestyle.
And what that looks like when you don't integrate is confusion, is lost time,
Deception,
regret.
delusion.
I mean, all of the ones you really do not want. My last words, though, thank you for the question, Charlie. I really hope you guys respond in the comments. I have a call to action. My call to action is there's dirt, there's probably grass where you are. There's probably dirt. You might have a flower pot, a small 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch flower pot. I want everyone to put some seeds in the ground. Maybe it's corn, maybe it's snap peas, green beans, watermelon, sweet potato. Maybe it's a literal potato on your counter. Put it under dirt, water, and see what happens. I want to make the switch not be like, oh my God, you have to have 1,000 acres of land and you got to have a moo cow and a pig and composting figured out. Start right on your windowsill, in your garden, in your front yard, backyard. It's going to be the most impactful thing. You're going to see a seed grow from germination to full grown. Avocado pit, peach pit, do it. I believe in you guys and I want to see your food growing, but that's how we take back and use our resistance to fuel and feed ourselves.
Yes. So join us every week and join us every day in your own presence as you also provide medicine from our hands to your hands to all of us. So thank you, y'all.
We love you.
Until
We're
next time.
Gonna end in a dance break. We love you guys.
I love you all. Bye, everybody.
See you next time.